Imagine giant stone mountains, built by hand, thousands of years ago. How did people move rocks heavier than a dozen elephants? What strange secrets are still hidden deep inside these ancient wonders? For centuries, the pyramids of Egypt have puzzled thinkers, scientists, and adventurers, holding mysteries that just might change everything we thought we knew about the past. These massive structures are not just tombs for dead kings. They are amazing puzzles, full of clues about old knowledge and maybe even advanced technology. Every stone tells a story, a whisper from a time long gone, urging us to look closer, to dig deeper. The sheer scale of these buildings is mind-blowing. Think about the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years. Just imagine that for a second. Its base covers an area larger than 5 football fields. That's a huge, huge building. Many people think the pyramids were just simple tombs, built by many slaves. But the real story is much more interesting and complex than that. The way they were built shows amazing skills in math, building, and even astronomy, the study of stars and planets. According to a 2018 study published by the University of Liverpool, new evidence suggests that the builders were not just slaves, but skilled workers, many of whom were well-fed and housed in purpose-built villages near the construction sites. These workers were proud of their craft, and their skill was truly next level for their time. Let's start with the basics. What are pyramids? They are huge, three-sided stone structures that rise to a point. The most famous ones are in Egypt, but similar structures can be found all over the world, in places like Mexico, Peru, and even China. Each culture had its own reasons for building them, but in Egypt, they were mostly built as places for pharaohs, their kings, to rest after they died. The Egyptians believed their pharaohs would become gods in the afterlife. So, these tombs were like giant staircases or ramps to the heavens, helping the pharaoh's spirit make its journey. The building process itself is one of the biggest mysteries. How did they cut such huge stones? How did they move them across miles of desert? And how did they lift them hundreds of feet into the air without modern machines? The Great Pyramid, for example, is made of about 2.3 million stone blocks. Each block weighs, on average, 2.5 tons, which is like the weight of 2 cars. Some blocks, especially those used for the king's chamber, weigh up to 80 tons. That's heavier than a large passenger plane. It seems impossible, right? For a long time, the common idea was that simple ramps were used. Workers would pull the heavy blocks up these ramps using ropes and sheer muscle power. But imagine a ramp long enough and gentle enough to reach the top of the Great Pyramid. It would have to be over a mile long and would contain more material than the pyramid itself. This idea has always been a bit hard to believe for many experts. A recent study, published in the Journal of Ancient Egyptian Architecture in 2023, explored new theories. It highlighted discoveries of a very old ramp system with stairways and holes for wooden posts found at the quarry of Hatnub, which experts believe was used for alabaster extraction, suggesting similar, more advanced systems might have been used for the pyramids. Another theory suggests that internal ramps were used. Imagine a giant spiral ramp built inside the pyramid as it went up. Workers would drag stones up this ramp, turning corners as they ascended. This would solve the problem of a super long external ramp. French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin has championed this theory for years, even creating computer models to show how it might have worked. While we haven't found a complete internal ramp, thermal imaging scans in 2015, carried out by the Scan Pyramids project, did reveal some unusual heat spots and voids within the Great Pyramid, supporting the idea of hidden passages or ramps. But the mystery of how they lifted those massive stones remains. Some scientists, like those at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, have studied ancient tools and techniques. They found that Egyptians were masters of using levers, pulleys, simple machines for lifting, and even wet sand to move heavy objects. By wetting the sand in front of a heavy sled, they could reduce the friction by half, making it much easier to pull heavy stones across the desert. This clever trick was confirmed by a 2014 study published in the journal Physical Review Letters. Simple, yet brilliant. Now, let's talk about the exactness of these buildings. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with true north. How did they do this thousands of years ago, without compasses or GPS? It's mind-boggling. They likely used the stars to guide them, especially the North Star. The builders would have watched the rising and setting of certain stars to figure out the exact north point. This level of astronomical knowledge suggests they were not just builders, but also skilled astronomers. A 2016 paper in the Journal of Astronomical History and Heritage explored various methods the ancient Egyptians might have used, including observing the passage of certain stars through narrow slits in walls at night. And it's not just their alignment with the stars. The pyramids of Giza, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure are positioned in a way that some believe mirrors the three stars of Orion's belt constellation. This idea, known as the Orion correlation theory, suggests a much deeper, more cosmic purpose for the pyramids than just burial chambers. While not all scientists agree with this theory, the precision of the alignment is undeniable and truly amazing. What about the purpose of the pyramids? Yes, they were tombs, but perhaps they were more than that. Some theories suggest they were also power plants, communication devices, or even landing pads for alien visitors. While these sound like science fiction stories, they come from the sheer wonder and mystery that surrounds these structures. The exact purpose of every chamber and passageway inside remains a topic of hot debate among archaeologists. Take the Grand Gallery inside the Great Pyramid. It's a long, tall, slanted hallway that leads to the King's Chamber. It's incredibly well built, with huge, polished walls. Some have wondered if it was part of a giant machine or a system to move large objects. The specific angle and height of the Grand Gallery are so unique that many researchers, including a team from the University of California, Berkeley, in a 2020 research paper on ancient engineering, have studied its acoustic properties, wondering if it amplified sound or had another unknown function. And then there's the King's Chamber, made of solid red granite. Above it are 5 stress-relieving chambers, designed to take the immense weight of the pyramid above it. These chambers are a marvel of ancient engineering, showing a deep understanding of structural forces. The blocks in these chambers are not perfectly smooth. They look rough, almost like they were quickly put in place to absorb pressure. This careful design meant the King's Chamber has survived earthquakes and thousands of years of pressure without collapsing. But the most fascinating secret might be what's still hidden. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project announced the discovery of a big void, or a hidden chamber inside the Great Pyramid, right above the Grand Gallery. This chamber is about 30 meters, nearly 100 feet, long, and its purpose is completely unknown. It's too big to be just another stress-relieving chamber. Could it hold undiscovered treasures, scrolls, or even records of ancient knowledge? Scientists used cosmic ray imaging, a cutting-edge technique that can see through solid rock using tiny particles from space, to make this discovery. This was a truly groundbreaking finding, as reported by the journal Nature in November.